Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple, is a martial arts comedy based around Kenichi, who is on track to become the world's mightiest disciple because he learns from many different masters of many different martial arts, including Kung Fu, street fighting, Jiu-Jitsu, and also Muay Thai. This isn't an anime series where you're watching these characters fighting and getting so strong that their ki is just destroying everything around them and just getting really crazy and throwing energy beams or anything like that. This is pretty much down to earth, but of course, eventually later on in the second half of the series, you can see their ki, and their ki adds a bit of bonus attack power to their moves, so that does add a bit of supernatural elements to the series, but for the most part, I felt that it's pretty down to earth in comparison to a lot of other action or fighting anime series. The basic setup for the story of Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple is something that I've seen in a few other anime already. It's basically where you've got this coward of a character who's got no skill whatsoever. He's trained by these masters, and because of this, he defeats his opponent, and then stronger opponents come to fight him because they realize his strength, and then he defeats them. Some of these opponents become his friends, some of them stay his enemies, and we see them later on. The friends that he gained through fighting, they join a group with him, and for the second half of the series, he fights a stronger group with the friends that he made. So for me, the overall story really isn't anything that blew me away. What really got me here was the characters. I really loved all of the characters here. Of course, Kenichi, he's probably one of my lesser favorite characters aside from his best friend who looks like a complete alien. Kenichi's friend Nijima is a really creepy guy, and I don't really like him, even though they try to push you on him and to make you like him, making him seem like he's a really good friend and everything he was doing was for the good of Kenichi, which it was. I still don't like him. He's still kind of creepy, although I did have moments where I felt that he was pretty funny and I was laughing at him. I still overall didn't really care for his character, but aside from him and Kenichi, of course, which Kenichi does develop and he does become a lot stronger and he does gain the courage that he needs to stand up to everyone. The masters that taught Kenichi were very interesting characters. I would watch a series or like a small spin-off series about each individual one of these because they were just really interesting characters. You've got the Kung Fu teacher who is a complete pervert, and it was really funny to watch him just trying to sneak up on everyone in the shower, and basically your typical anime pervert type character. And then there's Apachai, the Muay Thai master, who is really interesting to watch him because when he gets excited, he will just go crazy and he will just start running around breaking through walls and digging massive holes in the ground with his bare hands going up, 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 just digging these big old holes, just wrecking everything. So you've got all of these martial arts masters teaching Kenichi, and they're not just giving him their standard lessons, they are borderline torturing him, making him do so many things, pushing him to the brink of death every single day. They'll do things like have this bamboo with like this spike under it, and he is just over top of that crouching down, and he's got these pots in his hands with these blades taped underneath his arms, so if his arms come down then the spikes will go into his side, or if his knees weaken he will have the spike go inside of him, and it's really just a lot of torture that they put him through. It really pays off because he becomes a very powerful character, and it's great watching Kenichi fight, not only because he uses these realistic techniques that his teachers have taught him, but he will do it in a way where he will combine multiple different techniques of different martial arts styles together to create this fighting style which combines everything. One other thing that I really enjoyed in this series were that some characters, they will talk about the difference between martial arts as sport and martial arts as the way of life, because I can really relate with that because I grew up in martial arts and it's really a big thing to me. Even though I did get out of it for a while, I did try to get back into it back when I had more time and of course more energy. Now I'm just really lazy, just want to sit around and watch anime all day, but I'll find that the local schools in my area, they really didn't take anything seriously. I'll look in the window when they're taking class and they're just wearing jeans and t-shirts and laughing and giggling and having fun, but for me, martial arts was more than just learning technique. It was about learning respect and learning discipline, and you can see that with a lot of the characters here, that they can really place this division between sport and way of life. And there are some people that just basically do it for sport and just do it to bully people, and there are some people who just do it as a way of life. And it's really interesting to see this because you will have some of the villains within the series that you can really respect them, and of course when Kenichi defeats them they become his friends because they're respectable people. So with Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple, you get a lot of great fights and you get a lot of great characters. There are some of these characters which get a decent amount of development. You see them change as the story goes on. Mainly Kenichi, you see him change a lot, but you do see other characters change as well through meeting Kenichi and fighting against him. And with Kenichi, you get to see a bit of his past, and there was one inconsistent part that I saw in the series that I kind of felt that it was filler, because this is 2 seasons long, 50 episodes, is taken from a manga which is very long. It's still ongoing, so I'm not sure what the whole situation was, but they explained the little pin on his neck twice, and they're given basically 2 different explanations. The first time they give Kenichi gives the explanation of how he got it and why it's important to him. It wasn't really a big deal or anything. It's just something that happened in his childhood he forgot about, and then later on they go more in depth about it, but he kind of had to remember again. It wasn't a big deal or anything. It's just this small little part, but it was still something that I saw. And something else that I did really enjoy here was that not only do you get the backstory for Kenichi, but you do get some more background for a lot of the martial arts masters. Of course, they were my favorite characters in the series, so I wanted to see more. I want to see more of the interaction between the other disciple that chose the dark side, the side of pure aggression, because Kenichi wasn't the only student of all of these martial artists. There was another student that you'll learn about later on in the series. I would love to see the backstory for him and a few of the other masters, just to see more, just because they were very interesting characters. So with Kenichi, you get the awesome fights, the great characters. You get a bit of bouncy here, because this series does contain a bit of fan service, but it wasn't really enough for me to think that people would get turned off by the amount of fan service. It was just there occasionally. Some people do say that there is more in the manga, but I have not read that yet to really speak about it. So overall, the series was mostly something that I enjoyed. There were some parts that I didn't really care for so much as the story. I didn't really care for the basic setup for everything, because I've seen it before in other series. But having said that, it was still something that I did enjoy. It's something that I just sat back and relaxed. I didn't really have to invest so much thought into watching this. It was just something that is really entertaining. As far as the animation goes, it's basic. It's not bad or anything, but it's just your typical anime from 2006. It doesn't really do anything for me to say that it's bad or that it's just over the top and good. It's just standard for me. So moving on to the audio here, I watched this in dub on Netflix. You can also watch this for free on the Funimation website, but that's only in sub there, so I can't really speak on the sub. Of course, I'm sure that it's going to be good, but with the dub here, I felt that that was good as well. So Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple, it's anime, 2006, 50 episodes long, 2 seasons, licensed by Funimation. There's also a manga, which is still ongoing, so you've got this massive story. If you like the anime, you've got this long manga to it, and also if you want to see more anime, there are 3 OVAs. I haven't seen them yet, so I can't really speak on if they're good or not, but it's something that I'm definitely interested in checking out. So if you've seen the anime or the OVAs of Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple, or if you've read the manga to it, then let me know your thoughts about it in the comments section below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you later.